Joining us now is someone who has made it her life's work to save lives by storing something valuable that used to be just thrown away. Jane Virro is the Executive Director of Victoria Angel. Welcome, Jane. How are you?
Welcome. Thank you. I'm welcome to your new digs here.
Yeah,
thank you.
It's nice.
So
Now,
we have some new listeners who probably don't know what Victoria Angel is. So let's tell them.
Okay, we're a public cord blood bank. So if you don't know what a public cord blood bank is, we'll start back at the beginning. When a baby is born, the umbilical cord is cut, and there's blood left in the umbilical cord. And inside that blood are millions and millions of stem cells. And what we do is we collect donated umbilical cord blood, we extract the stem cells, and we store them in our lab at Toronto General Hospital. We tissue type them and make them available all around the world for anybody that needs them who might have leukemia or need a bone marrow transplant.
okay, it's amazing. And what surprises me is so few people still understand, what a waste this is. Even if they don't want to store it for themselves, they can give it away and it can be useful. And in fact, a lot of scientists were saying, well, the science isn't up to speed, but you've had success.
Yes, we've had transplants. And in fact, we were just at a symposium down in San Francisco, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of transplants that happen around the world for 80 different diseases. This isn't experimental. This is being done, and it's saving a lot of lives.
And you're here in Toronto at Sick Kids Hospital. Somebody is going to come that is going to really change things up.
That's right. So Dr. Donna Wall is one of the leading transplanters of cord blood in Canada and bone marrow transplants. And she's currently the head in the Manitoba cord blood program and the bone marrow transplant program. She is moving to Sick Kids in September. This is very exciting news. She does a lot of the cord blood transplants in Canada. So our stem cells are actually stored at Toronto General Hospital, and there's a tunnel that goes from our lab over to Sick Kids, and we can literally take our frozen samples over to Sick Kids to the transplant unit.
But these samples can help anybody, right? Babies right up to older people?
That's right. So we had a release of a sample just a few months ago from Victoria Angel over to help an adult in the European Union who had leukemia. And we were so excited because we took our frozen sample and put it into a transplant door, and it was shipped across the ocean.
That's
and
amazing.
You're committed to releasing these samples free of charge to Canadians in need, which I find
We are doing
fascinating.
it at a reduced rate, actually. It started free of charge, but you know what? We're a charity.
But the cost is incredible.
The cost is incredible.
Of doing this. But so what would you like? I mean, most of our listeners, I would say their children are heading into grown, but their children are having children. Mm-hmm. So what's the message that you want to get out to people? How do they connect with you if they either want to donate their cord blood or save it for themselves?
Well, what they really need to do, Kate, is find out what their options are and decide for their own family what they wish to do. I am of the age where my friends are now having grandchildren, and a lot of those grandparents are actually making it their gift. And they pay for the families that want to store it. And so you know what? It's $1,000 up front. It's $125 a year. And it's really insurance if, in case, God forbid, you end up with one of those 80 diseases that could be treated. Or one of their siblings, because often the cord blood is used for siblings. But if they don't want to store it, then the option is there to donate it. If you are delivering at one of the 34 hospitals we work with in the GTA, you can donate it.
It's much like giving blood, where I'm a regular blood donor, but people say, why? And I say, why not? It's my body makes it for free. It helps save somebody who may have had an accident or Lord knows what.
Yes.
Why not? It's 40 minutes out of my life every 56 days.
Yes.
And I think that's really the message, because you're already there giving birth. They're cutting the cord. What do you care?
We don't want that cord to go into the garbage because it can save a life.
Incredible waste. Now, you said you're a charity and you do have to raise funds for the charity. Yes. So you've got a golf event coming up at Glen Abbey. Is that...
This is an exciting event because it's not only a golf event, it's also a spa event. So if you don't play golf...
Oh, something for me, the non-golfer. Oh, thank you.
It's also a spa event. So it's got something for everyone. It's on Wednesday, September the 28th. So you can book time off work now. And it's a nice day event. Canadian Open was held at Glen Abbey. The place looks amazing. It'll be nice to have something in the fall. I know people have golf tournaments during the summer, but this is going to be a fall event. So, hot toddies on the course and that kind of thing.
Okay, maybe I will golf.
I'd like to ask you, in the time that you've been involved with this, you and your husband both,
Yes.
You've seen so much progress. What do you see in the next 10 years potentially?
Oh, there are so many things coming down the grapevine for cord blood. And the biggest one right now is cerebral palsy and brain injury. So brain injury is something like stroke. Now, people that are having strokes don't have their own cord blood, so we can't do anything to test that out necessarily right now. But these little kids are using their own cord blood who have maybe had damage or at birth. Maybe they were born premature or they had some kind of hypoxia at birth, and they have some brain damage. Mm-hmm. And they have done clinical trials in the U.S. that have had really incredible results, and they're being supported by other trials that are being done around the world. And the sum of the final comment that the presenter made in San Francisco, this is Dr. Joanne Kurtzberg, she said, there were kids who could not walk, who now walk, and children who could not talk, that now talk, because of this transplant. And to me, that's just says it all right there. That's why we do what we do.
Well, you talked about 80 diseases that it could potentially help. Do you think that's going to expand?
Absolutely. And some of them, I think the treatments are going to get even better. But what we really need for this to expand is for people to be storing cord blood or donating their cord blood, because if we don't have a pool of cord blood to use, we can't make this research happen. So the other side of Victoria Angel is if your sample isn't stored for medical use, we also use it in research. Another big one is sickle cell anemia. We need African American donors. That whole group should be standing up and getting every African American baby to be storing or donating their cord blood, because the treatment for sickle cell is a cure. They have a sibling sickle cell program in the States. We need to do the same thing here in Canada.
I think it's just a wonderful idea, as you said, for grandparents, for gifting. Mm-hmm. I think it's brilliant, because then you already, if there's going to be a sibling coming along, then it's perfect, because then you're covered for everything. So how do people get in touch with Victoria Angel to make sure that their cord blood is given to you at the hospital, or you're notified?
Great question. VictoriaAngel.org.
VictoriaAngel.org. And
That's
so you'll
right.
tell them if the hospital participates, or
That's right.
is there any way around it if the hospital doesn't? Like, what can you know?
No.
So there's 34 hospitals. Pick one of those hospitals.
That's right. That's right.
So that's amazing to me that not all hospitals participate. Why wouldn't they?
Well, they would love to. We just can't afford it. So, the other side of this is if you aren't having a baby, we also take financial donations at victoriaangel.org, or make a sponsorship at our golf tournament or our next year's fundraiser at Casa Loma, or wherever we decide to do it next year.
Well, it's so funny because we hear about grandparents putting money into a registered education savings plan. Wouldn't it be wonderful to put money into something that could potentially save their grandchild's life or the sibling?
Yeah, it's a great program.
It's a great program. Yeah. And anyway, we look forward to hearing about all the progress that will be made in the future to come.
All right, tell us again what the website is.
If you want to donate, it's victoriaangel.org. And our biggest supporter is a family bank, Cells for Life, and they're cellsforlife.com.
Thank you
pretty
so
easy,
much.
and we'll have links on our website too. Jane Virro, always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And when we come back, how does communication attract and repel? Do you really know what you're communicating to others? Communications expert Deborah Barrasett from Landmark is going to explain after this short break. This is what she said on The Jewel.